Good morning or good afternoon. I am so excited. I am so excited. I am so excited to be here with you in these moments. My name is Dr. Danie Buhuro. I am the executive director of this amazing clinical pastoral education center called SANKOFA CPE. And we are excited here at SANKOFA CPE to kick off this amazing new webinar series entitled Pouring from a Full Cup. That's right. You have heard the phrase or slogan, what is it like to pour from an empty cup? Meaning inviting us to practice self-care, especially those of us in the helping professions like clergy, therapists, or social workers. But in these moments, we want to talk about what does it mean to practice self-care so therefore we can pour from a full cup. We don't want to be empty, trying to share the little that we have. We want to promote a philosophy, belief system, or thought process that says when we are full, then we can pour from our full cups. And we don't want to operate on empty, but we believe, even from a theological and a psychological perspective, that we are called to be healthy and pour from our healthiness. So I'm so excited because of the kickoff of this amazing series. And I'm even more excited because we have an amazing guest with us who is our inaugural guest for this Pouring from a Full Cup series. I'm so excited that we have here with us today the Reverend Tonya Jackson. That's right. This is my sister. I love her so much. And if you don't know her, here is my opportunity to tell you a little something about her. Reverend Tonya Jackson is founder of A Time for You. Please, if you don't already follow this amazing organization online, please look for them on Facebook at A Time for You and follow them. She is an amazing spiritual care provider and pastoral care provider. She currently also serves as associate minister at Rivers of Living Waters United Church of Christ in New York and New Jersey. She is also an amazing pastoral counselor. She has so many wonderful gifts and credentials, including a master's of divinity degree. And a little birdie told me that soon and very soon she's moving into therapy. And so I'm so very excited about that. So Reverend Tonya Jackson also has 4 units of clinical pastoral education, and she has a wealth of experience, particularly in social services, where she is versed in working with marginalized communities, Black women in particular, who find themselves wrestling with domestic violence, homelessness, poverty, food insecurity, and lack of healthy self-esteem. So she is the perfect person that we thought would be the one to kick off our inaugural Pouring from a Full Cup series. During this month, many people don't know, but August is known as National Wellness Month. That's right. For the month of August, we turn our attention to what are the ways in which we are called to live into wellness. Did you know wellness is sometimes a taboo topic for many of us? And so we're so excited because Reverend Tonya is going to come on now and talk for a few moments with me about what are the ways in which we can lift up wellness, not just during the month of August, but make wellness a part of our daily living. And so if you don't mind, can you just show some love to my sister, the incomparable, the amazing, the phenomenal Reverend Tonya Jackson.
Thank you very much. I am wholly and fully honored, excited, and just ecstatic that 1, this series has started, and 2, that we get to pause. We get to pause in this hour and focus on what it is that makes us well and how we can just breathe in the moment. So thank you. Thank you for considering me as your inaugural guest.
Thank you, Rev. Thank you. So let's jump right into it. First and foremost, because we have so many clergy watching us in these moments. First, let's jump into it. Let's talk about the weight of ministry. Let's first talk about what's the unique pressures that you see that clergy face today that affect our mental health.
Oh, the weight of ministry. The weight of ministry is why I am the healing Rev, because I am healing. I am broken and in pieces, and I am at peace in doing ministry. But to focus more on the question, I think the weight of it is the moral injury. I think I would start right there with moral injury when clergy are asked to act against their core values, covering up abuse and presenting themselves in ways in which that they would not ordinarily show up in the world, and that goes completely against the silence that comes from being in leadership in ministry, the role creep. And what I mean by the role creep is they're expected to be everything to everyone but themselves. The preacher, the therapist, the activist, the administrator, all things to all people, because they are always supposed to be on go. I think Yeah, racialized care and the labor, especially as it relates to Black clergy, and all of the things that the Black church have instilled in us on what we should and how we should and should not show up. Um, yeah, for me, those things stand out the greatest and at the forefront of my mind of what the weight really cost.
First of all, wow. Let me say, you just said something prolific right there, and I'm going to pause for a moment and ask our those who are watching. I forgot to ask you to grab pen and paper, as Reverend Tonya Jackson is dropping amazing knowledge for us in these moments. Please grab pen and paper or take notes on your phone. Let's talk about this for a second. I never thought about clergy grappling with moral injury, right? That is profound, and so I appreciate you. I appreciate you highlighting that. When we talk about moral injury, we usually talk about it from military perspective, from moral injury that brothers and sisters in our armed forces must grapple with, or moral injury that veterans must grapple with. But I never stopped for a moment to think about what are the ways in which clergy are grappling with moral injury. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else you wanted to say about that before I move on?
Yeah, and I think that's a space that we also need to sit in and reflect on is the moral injury. And I mean, yes, I agree. I see it in the military spaces and spaces like that, but also at what lengths am I sacrificing myself to ensure that I have more than 8 people sitting in the pews?
Wow.
What promises am I going out there making? What happens when I'm a pastor and a hoe at the same time?
Mm, mm,
And or I'm a pastor with an addiction,
mm,
and I can't hold myself up because I got to hold up this pretense
mm,
of who I should be or who people have deemed me to be because they have removed the humanity of me. They
mm,
forgot that the same mistakes that everyone else is susceptible to, I am also susceptible to. But I got to pretend like I'm not. What
wow.
is that doing to us on a mental level?
Thank you. Thank you for that. You said something powerful there. How do we recognize when our cups are empty and we need to be poured into before we can pour into others?
So I think for me, I'll go from a personal level, and I think that's where I landed on the fact that I'm a healing Rev, because I'm clear that I was called to ministry, right? But the teaching was that I always had to be on go. There was always something to do for ministry. There was always a need that needed to be met. And even if I needed sleep in this moment, I had to sacrifice sleep because death has happened. Let's use that. But the reality is, death has happened. And guess what? They're going to be dead when I wake up in the morning.
Wow.
Their condition
Wow.
is not going to change. So when I found myself mentally exhausted, emotionally unaware,
Mm,
spiritually depleted, I was angry with the church and still trying to do the work.
mhm, mhm,
When I found it hard to put one foot in front of the other, and in the back of my mind just questioning myself about what about me, who's going to show up for me. I done did all these things for all of these people to keep them moving forward because I'm supposed to pour out, right? But now I am empty, I am broken, and I am facing my own set of circumstances. Who's going to do these things for me?
wow. Wow. Now, you hurting my feelings, Rev, but you holding me accountable because I've been guilty myself of many of the behaviors that you are naming in these moments, and so I am so appreciative of these red flags or warning signs or yellow lights that you are inviting us to reflect on. What I hear you saying is that first and foremost, as we think about self-care as clergy, it has to be a holistic endeavor where we're thinking about how are we practicing self-care in mind, body, and spirit. And so I think you've pushed some wonderful thoughts that can be great reflective questions for us, such as do we delegate responsibilities to others? Right? I hear you. I hear you naming that. And so for those who have pen and paper taking notes right now, we want to say first and foremost, how are you delegating responsibilities as a clergy person to others? Right? Do we feel like we have to do it all ourselves? And if I can push that a little bit, I'm also hearing you say for us to think about, and I'm gonna say this, but you can use any other example of somebody. Don't use me as an example. I'm just gonna say it, but don't use me as an example. I wonder how is our inability to delegate responsibilities tied to our sense of narcissism in the ministry, where I feel like I have to do everything because maybe it makes me feel good about myself. I don't know. What do you think?
That's a whole loaded box, and it's real hard to steer away from you. But but I'm going to. Because as you were presenting that question, I was thinking about this hierarchical relationship that we have between leadership and congregation, and I think in this hierarchy, what we fail to forget is that even a spiritual relationship is a relationship. And relationships function well when there's mutuality. And mutuality does not mean that I'm going to go pour all of my wounds onto the congregate. Mutuality in this relationship to me means that I respect that my congregation have things that they need me specifically to show up for, but I also need them to respect that there are periods of time where even Jesus rested, even God rested. And if these beings whom we pray to and depend on to bring us through and bring us out had to take a period of time for themselves, respect my Sabbath as well. Respect that I need time for replenishment. And so I think if we can start from the basis of a mutual respect, and then recognize that everyone is human and human bodies need nourishment, they need rest. And it doesn't matter if you are a pastor, doctor, prophet, doesn't matter who you are, that we all need a point in time to recover. And that all rolls up into removing the stigma. My trauma, I have trauma too. Just because I went to school and got an MDiv and got Rev, but before my name, does not mean that I didn't face molestation that I'm still dealing with, or I didn't face domestic violence that I'm still trying to recover from, or food insecurity, or any of those things. The same life experiences that Johnny Joe Blow with no title before his name or her name has, I have experienced some of those same things. And right, there are boundaries, and I need to protect myself, and I'm asking you out of mutual respect that we protect each other.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for naming that. We want to say thank you for all of those joining us online. Thank you for the comments that we're hearing so far. Thank you so much, Dr. Elisa Lewis, Dr. Lucian Washington. Thank you for the ways in which you all are inviting us to think about this topic differently or through a different lens. I appreciate also what you're saying, Reverend Tonya Jackson, about breaking the stigma. What are ways in which we could break the stigma of mental health, particularly among us as clergy?
I think the first thing is we have to wholeheartedly and truthfully acknowledge that it exists, not in this trendy way. Trauma is trendy right now. Mental health is trendy right now, in the general population, but on a person-to-person basis, it's real. Because I still see people standing before pulpits and saying that just pray a little bit harder. Well, I'm the person that's been praying for 20 years. I've been praying and believing and hoping and wishing, and I see all of these people giving these testimonies about how God done brought them out and how the divine done saved their soul, but I'm still sitting and I'm still circling and I'm still bumping into the same walls. Well, I'm bumping into the same walls because the reality is that I need prayer and a prescription.
Oh, wow. Let's talk about it. Yes, it's okay. It's okay to have prayer and a prescription. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you so much for naming that. And let's especially talk about the ways in which maybe we as clergy need to watch what we're preaching and teaching from behind the sacred desk about mental health and mental wellness, right? I'm thinking, what are the ways in which it would be so powerful if we preached and teached on Sunday mornings that it's okay to have prayer and a prescription, right? So I also hear you saying that this topic starts with us, right? Because first and foremost, our relationship to reflecting on our own mental health will then influence how we teach about this to our congregants. And so thank you.
Yes, some of us as leaders need prayer and a prescription.
Yes.
and maybe the meetup on Sunday morning is for all of us to take our prescriptions together. Maybe wow. that's how we support each other.
Wow.
Just like we teach children, for every action there's a reward and a consequence. You get to choose which one you want. You don't get to just listen to me tell you what you need.
Wow. Thank you for this. Thank you. What's some other recommendations that you would offer to us? What's some other recommendations you think we need to take into consideration as clergy?
Considerations, I think in ministries, in helpful ministries that are built around the wellness, the holistic wellness of their congregants, I think we need to give the deacons back their jobs.
Wow.
There's a job that's associated with being a deacon. We need to build stronger pastoral care units within our churches, so that it's not just pastor or senior pastor that has to show up. And we need to be picking the right people for the right roles. Every LCSW is not the right LCSW for me. Mm-hmm. Every pastoral care and counselor is not the right one for me. It's trial and error. And we need to talk about being willing to go through that trial until we get to the right spaces. Pastors, somehow, some way, those that live in that narcissistic space need to move beyond being God and move to representing what Jesus taught us that God is supposed to be and what we should be in the land. We need to move beyond tradition of it's all about me and worship me, and move back over into a service like a true service, not the service that you determine that is needed, but the service that you did the work to determine is truly needed in this space, because every space is not the same.
But can I push it? I want to say, first and foremost, you are giving amazing wisdom and insight. I want to say thank you. The chat is lighting up from folks who are so appreciative of your feedback. Hey family, we want to ask that you share this video. Do us a favor, share this video. Can I push it? I went into ministry because I wanted to be seen. I like the idea of being able to walk into a pulpit that's designed on a stage where people can look at me for 10 or 15 minutes and all the attention is on me as I preach this word that everybody has to sit and listen to. I have people that now I can paralyze for about 20 minutes on a Sunday morning at 11 a.m. You're telling me that I can't function like this anymore? You're telling me that I have to check my narcissism at the door? You're telling me that I have to learn to delegate? What do you mean, give the deacons their job back? I specifically went into this whole role so that it could be all eyes on me. What do you say to me?
That's wonderful. I don't say anything to you. I don't say anything to you because the army was called to your voice, right? So what does growth in that space look like?
Wow.
What does further religious trauma in that space look like? So yes, everyone gets to choose, right? This is what I teach my children. Everyone gets to choose. And if that's what you went into ministry for, me as a congregant, me as ordained clergy, I get to choose if this space is healing or killing for me. Wow. And if I choose to sit in death, then that's a conscious choice that I made. If I choose to live, then you're going to be preaching and teaching right up there in that pulpit by yourself.
Wow.
But you can't change that. Like, this is an individual process. People have to be willing to make the necessary adjustments for themselves. And some people simply choose to remain in death.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for naming that. What questions do we have from any of our siblings watching online? Feel free to drop your questions or your comments in. Dr. Lucian Washington says, maybe not just seeing it as a job as well, but discerning if people are walking in the right calling. He goes on to say, because there are really some folks who are not walking in their appropriate calling. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think you've already said it. I mean, it doesn't just stop at the pastor who knows that they want to be hold people captive with them as the star for 20 minutes. I mean, people are deacons because they want the title, not so much that they want to do the work. I've seen plenty of deacons or other spaces of ordination be ordained and then you never see them again. And then they show up 5 years later and come sit on the first row in the third seat and still expect you to acknowledge them as Deacon XYZ. Well, if we are doing that, we are failing. We are failing, because if you're not showing up and living the thing that you say you are called to, then what a shame that we're still calling you to it. Wow. What a shame that we are still in spaces where we have failed our responsibilities when we have allowed our people to continuously be hurt and not take the appropriate actions as leaders in order to move them into a wellness space where we are protecting them when they can't protect themselves.
Wow, that's powerful. Thank you. That's powerful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I see two questions I'm going to combine in one. Dr. Jamie Eady told me to shut up and stop using the word narcissism. I hear you. I hear you, Doc. So Dr. Jamie Eady told me to switch the word from narcissism to let's talk about low self-esteem, lack of our sense of worth, or cultural expectations of carrying everything to prove everyone's worth, right? I see Reverend or Pastor Kim Kendrick has said, what are some tools or resources that could help us do a self-wellness check on a consistent basis?
So I want to be, if you allow me, I'm going to be real personal and transparent,
Please.
just with myself. Back in 2020, I was going through a divorce, and I was very, very, very angry, just angry, and everything that transpired in that marriage, I wanted to place the blame somewhere else on my former spouse. And I'm not saying that they didn't have their share of blame and I had my share of blame. Happens in every relationship. But when I started to seek the therapeutic help that I needed, and when I started to actually sit with myself, here's what I determined. I determined that they didn't do anything to me. Everything that transpired in that marriage was my fault.
Wow.
Because I had such a low self-esteem and thought that that was the best that I could do at that time, and that I could not do any better, that I allowed myself to willfully ignore all of the red flags. Because nothing existed post-marriage that didn't exist pre-marriage.
Wow.
But I had such a low self-esteem. And the fact that this person was so focused on me in the moments in which they were, that lifted me up. I had ugly girl syndrome. Wow. That's my truth. And I thought that this person looked a whole lot better than me. And I was just, I must have been honored to have them choose me.
Wow.
But they chose me and I failed to choose myself. And those moments in which I got to be lifted up and be the center of time, they were very fleeting. They didn't last long and they didn't come often. So I had to work on me. I had to name my brokenness. I had to sit with my brokenness. I had to find the relevant resources that helped me move beyond those broken pieces of me that told me that I wasn't worthy, I wasn't good enough. And then I still, on top of that, had to satisfy the needs of everyone else. But I satisfied them in anger. So the energy around it was horrible, and that got transferred, and every other negative piece that came with it. Although it showed up with a smile, the energy around it was negative, and I was creating killing spaces for myself and for others. So how do we fix this? We got to name our brokenness. We got to be willing. Wow. We got to be willing to go back. We got to be willing to figure out what it is, be able to deconstruct. But the deconstruction is not the deconstruction of the Bible. It's the deconstruction of self.
Wow. The deconstruction of self. Wow. Naming my brokenness. Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. First of all, let me say thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your bravery, right? Because somebody's going to get free because they heard your story in these moments. And so I say thank you for sharing your story. You said so many amazing things. You said so many amazing things. They chose me, but I failed to choose myself. You said, how do we learn to not deconstruct the Bible, but deconstruct ourselves? You said, what are the ways in which we have to address our brokenness? That's right. That's right. That's right. And so I so appreciate you. I so appreciate you highlighting that. In other words, I hear you saying that we have to be honest and genuine with ourselves, first and foremost, and ask, where am I still hurting? Where am I still sad? What am I still wrestling with that maybe I've never even spoken aloud, but that I need to do this internal reflection. I need to do my own shadow work instead of focusing so much on trying to help others. I need to help myself. And so I so appreciate you. I so appreciate you naming. I so appreciate you naming that. I want to say thank you for your transparency. Thank you for your vulnerability. And thank you for your care. And I'm excited to know you. I want to say thank you for those continuing to post comments in our chat. Feel free, if you have any other questions, feel free to name them. If there's a point you want us to highlight again, feel free to drop it in the chat. I want to ask you to talk some about our upcoming conference. This Pouring from a Full Cup series is one of the kickoffs to our amazing conference coming up in April 21st to the 24th, 2026 here in Chicago. We're doing a SANKOFA CPE mental wellness conference. And so we're going to switch gears for a moment and talk about that. What are your thoughts on our upcoming conference?
Before you switch gears, because I think it's important, because Dr. Jamie just said, choosing that it's not a one-time action of choosing yourself. I wanted that to be spoken out loud because that is real. It is not a one-time action. It's not I chose myself and I got out of this situation, or I got into this situation, so now I'm good. I know how to choose myself. Oh no, the next situation is coming. And then that's going to be the test of the first situation, because the you that's choosing now is not the you that chose then. Prayerfully, there has been some growth. And there may have been some destruction that happened along the way. And you got to remember how to remember your pieces to yourself in choosing who you are. So thank you for that, Dr. Jamie. I appreciate that. That needed to be said out loud, not just in a comment. Choosing yourself is not a one-time experience. As far as the conference, let's go ahead.
Let's stay on that then. Thank you so much, Dr. Jamie. Let's stay on that for a moment then. What are ways I can continue to choose me then moving forward? What does that look like?
That looks like you deciding what it is to choose you. So for me, I talked about this last night during the election. When the election happened, I was so angry, but I was still in a position to provide care. And honestly, what I had to do was I had to sit in silence. For a week, I couldn't take any care recipients. I had to be my own care recipient. I had to do the things for myself that I would do for someone else. And those things for me looks like I'm a creative. I like to create. I like to create for myself, and I like to create for others. So I did a lot of crocheting. I did a lot of sitting in silence. I'm not a phone junkie anyway, so you can call or text me, but you may not get a return call or text for about a month. But, you know, it's just, so it means putting your phone down or those things that distract you and keep you away from what you're really feeling in that moment. It means creating rituals for yourself. Even if there are micro Sabbaths throughout the day, for this 10 minutes, I am going to sit in silence and I am not to be disturbed, because whatever is happening will still be happening when I'm done. It's about being intentional about how you care for yourself. It is about manicures and pedicures, but it's not really about manicures and pedicures. It's about how are you caring for yourself holistically? What are you putting into your body? What are you releasing from your body in deed and in emotion? It's about going and sit on a couch, lay on the floor. It's about having a circle that you know will lift you up when you can't lift yourself up, that will encourage you and walk through spaces with you. Not pray you through, but are willing to actually walk you through.
Wow. 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 Thank you. Wow. Thank you for these amazing, wonderful strategies you've named. Yes, thank you, Dr. Marilyn Pagan Banks. Micro Sabbaths, that's beautiful. Rituals, being creative, spending some time putting our phone down. That's the most hardest for me. No, I appreciate you naming these specific. I appreciate you naming these specific strategies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's shift to our conference.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Dr. Danie, thank you. Thank you for this idea. I've been to many conferences. However, one that's focused on leadership, one that is focused on the mental wellness of leadership, one that is creating a safe space for leadership to come and not have the worries of all those other things, to just make themselves the center. I am working with the workshop committee, and we have some, I think, wonderful workshops that are lined up. The one that I am fully engaged in is, Dear Pastor, do you want to be made well? Like, speaking to the leader and what their wants and desires are, and then what's the road to get there.
I'm gonna attend that workshop myself, right? Because I don't want to be made well. I want to stay sick, because I get more attention for staying sick. So this is great. I'm gonna attend that.
Yeah, you get more attention because the world is sick.
I get more notoriety for living in my sickness. I get more attention for living in my sickness. Yeah, this is great. No, thank you. I'm going to attend that workshop.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some grief during that time. And grief is not just death, right? Well, it is death, but what is dying? It may not be the physical body. It may be something else. You know, sometimes some of these ministries are dying, but we refuse to let them go. Wow. Because we got to stand up in that pulpit for them 20 minutes.
Wow.
You know, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to bless a whole lot of people, and those who have not registered, I encourage you to register. We are doing it. We are trying to do it the right way. We're trying to offer the right support, because we don't want to talk about mental wellness, open up a cave of emotions, and send somebody out on a suicide trip, right? So we want to be able to make sure we have the necessary people in the room that can help people repackage whatever it is that they choose to open up at that time, until they can get it to the space where they have consistent and constant help in repackaging themselves until they get over the hump.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reverend Tonya. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, we are so excited about our conference. Listen, I'm just excited. It's not another preaching conference. It's not another Black preaching conference. We're not focusing on preaching. I'm trying to resist being petty. We're not focusing on preaching. We're focusing on mental wellness for our clergy. So it's not a black convening where we're focusing on preaching. We're focusing on mental wellness. We're focusing on how do we, as the clergy persons in our society today, how do we become healthy so that we can help members, our parishioners, our patients, our clients also live into their healthiness. What I hear you saying, Reverend Tonya, ultimately is it starts with us. It's time for us to get healthy.
Yes.
And that's a radical act for us to reflect on, the idea that it's time for us to get healthy. I so appreciate you. I so appreciate you naming that self-care is more than just manicures and pedicures. Yes. Self-care is more than just what we pay for, hobbies that we pay for to make us feel good. I so appreciate you lifting this up. I'm trying to be good, Bishop Vanessa Brown. I'm trying to resist being petty, Bishop Vanessa Brown. I'm going to keep it moving. So thank you. Thank you, Reverend Tonya Jackson. Hey, family, we are excited about our conference. So if you haven't done so already, please check us out, blackchaplainsrock.com, blackchaplains with the S, rock.com. Also, you see this amazing SANKOFA CPE swag that I'm wearing. This is courtesy of the amazing creative Reverend Tonya Jackson. So if you're interested in grabbing some of our SANKOFA swag, feel free to log on to our website, SANKOFACPE.org. If you're interested in partnering with Reverend Tonya Jackson and A Time for You Consulting, we're going to invite you to also reach out to her, Reverend Tonya D. Jackson, on Facebook. Reach out to A Time for You on Facebook as well. She is more than interested in partnering with you. We also want to invite you to continue to join our Pouring from a Cup series. This is going to be once a month. We're going to gather on Facebook. We're going to gather on Facebook and Instagram once a month to talk about a topic. And so next month, we're looking at the hidden weight, burnout, boundaries, and balance in ministry. We got an amazing person, just like Reverend Tonya, who's going to be with us next month to talk about clergy boundaries, clergy burnout, and clergy balance in ministry. So stay tuned for that. Family, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please know that we want to encourage you to have a healthy relationship with a therapist. And so if you don't already have a therapist, please stay tuned to our SANKOFA Facebook page and Instagram page. We're going to drop some links to some therapists who you can reach out to. If you are a therapist now who's watching this, drop your information. Please drop your information for us in the comment section so folks can reach out to you, right? Because we want to also build a network of those in the helping professions, right? We have everything we need. Something I hear Bishop Vanessa Brown saying often, we have everything we need right here with us. We have everything we need right here in our community, right? And so I want to invite us, drop your links in the comment sections and share so that everybody can get these resources. I'm gonna let you have final say-so, final words, final wisdom, final insight, Reverend Tonya. Anything you want to say? Go.
I think I would like to close by saying, may you release the lie that your worth is measured by your exhaustion. May you remember that rest is holy, that joy is sacred, and that healing is part of your ministry. May your body be honored, your spirit restored, your mind renewed. May you learn to pour only from overflow, never from emptiness. And may you know deep in your bones that you are worthy of care, worthy of joy, and worthy of life abundant.
That's what you want to end with? Now you
That's
said
what I
so
want to
much
end
right
with.
there. I'm sorry, you got to repeat it. That was amazing. Come on.
Good thing I wrote it down.
That was that first line you said about exhaustion. Oh my God.
Yeah, may you release the lie that your worth is measured by your exhaustion.
May you release the lie. I hope you all have pen and paper. May you release the lie that your worth is measured by your exhaustion. Oh my God.
Yes, may you remember that rest is holy, that joy is sacred, and that your healing is part of your ministry. Healing is part of your ministry. And may you know deep in your bones that you are worthy of care, worthy of joy, and worthy of life abundant. Amen.
Amen and Ashe. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Reverend Tonya. Hey, family, share this video. Reverend Tonya Jackson is amazing. Share this video. Spread the word. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, family, we will see you next time. Pouring from a full cup. We'll see you next time. Join us next month as we talk about, again, burnout, boundaries, and balance in ministry. Join us next month, family. Thank you. Thank you.